Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Knight, and I am the Director of Hospitality Solutions for Duetto, overseeing the North America region. I have been in the hospitality industry for almost 20 years now, and have spent that time split between general manager and commercial roles across branded and independent hotels and management companies of the like. Today, we're going to discuss the topic of pricing with a revenue management system, which is commonly referred to as an RMS. A hotel revenue management system optimizes room pricing by using data-driven algorithms to predict demand, analyze competitor pricing, and other market dynamics. These optimizations vary in frequency, but the majority of revenue management systems offer 1 to 3 optimizations a day, and often at the user's preference of time. For example, I could set an RMS to run a daily optimization at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. When an optimization runs, there are typically 3 main stages in that journey of pricing along with an RMS. The first stage is data collection and analysis. An RMS ingests a variety of data sources, including historical data, like past bookings and pricing trends, future pace booking trends, meaning how fast rooms are selling and at what length of stay, number of days prior to arrival, and various trends like that. Market data drivers, like events and seasonality. Competitor hotel rates, which are often viewed by retail versus lowest available public rate via discounts and membership programs. Some RMSs will pull in this data for a user benchmarking purpose, and some will factor these competitor rates into the pricing influence. And finally, guest segmentation is another common analysis point. An example of guest segmentation would be corporate versus leisure versus group rooms. Each segment comes with different trend data and measured pricing elasticity. The second stage is demand forecasting. An RMS uses machine learning and predictive analytics to estimate future demand by dates, room types, and the previously mentioned customer segmentation. This is a key stage in the process, and much like the other 2 stages, each RMS goes about this in a slightly different way. However, most RMSs layer in several of these demand forecasting models together to create the most accurate forecast. Finally, the third stage is dynamic and open pricing. Before dynamic and open pricing were introduced, most hoteliers were using static bar pricing tiers. For example, between 0 and 40% occupancy of my hotel, then I will price my best available rate at, say, for example, $299 for my base room type. But between 40 and 70% occupancy, that pricing increase would then be about $349, just as an example, and then so on and so forth. Most revenue management systems now utilize dynamic pricing based on demand fluctuations. This means that pricing changes in real time based on forecasted demand. Different room types and guest segments can be priced independently, which helps maximize revenue per available room, also known as RevPAR. Some RMSs even offer the ability to utilize said dynamic pricing models side by side with user-defined pricing strategies as well. For example, I could have my publicly available rates dynamically priced via the previously mentioned models, and at the same time, I can define my fenced wholesale rates to provide, let's say, between 30 and 40% off of my best available rate, depending on the level of unconstrained demand and or the amount of rooms I currently have committed on that day. Being able to define this level of granular strategy within an RMS has been a game changer for revenue managers and hotel operators alike. From there, an RMS typically will distribute those dynamic rates to the various distribution channels that hotels use, and the cycle repeats itself based on whatever optimization cycle the RMS has in place. Some RMS companies now even provide the ability for dynamic optimizations. Dynamic optimization is the process of monitoring demand and pickup in real time to ensure that your hotel isn't missing out on upward revenue potential. Dynamic optimization responds immediately to surges in demand outside of your RMS's scheduled optimization times. An example of this would be a new arena concert or large convention being announced in between your RMS's scheduled optimization times. Historically, your hotel's pricing wouldn't be adjusted or increased immediately from that surge in market demand, and it would be addressed during whatever time your next optimization cycle is scheduled to run. However, with dynamic optimization, that demand surge will produce an unexpected level of pickup, which then would trigger the RMS to run an optimization cycle to ensure that you don't sell out at a less than optimal room rate. Think of it as an insurance policy protecting your overall room revenue. Much like the very recent introduction of dynamic optimizations within RMS, there are several other recent developments that are greatly helping hoteliers to price even more departments than overnight guest rooms. For example, a lot of revenue management systems now have the ability to analyze, forecast, and price ancillary revenue departments as well. These new features allow for an RMS to optimize other departments, such as food and beverage, valet, function space, and so on. If you were to tell me 10 years ago that there would be an automated system available that could analyze and dynamically price the entire guest experience within a full-service hotel, I would have never believed such a product existed, let alone several options of them. We're currently in a very exciting time for hotel technology advancement, and I think we're all very intrigued to see how the next few years of rapid technology development will continue to positively impact the ability of an RMS to price our hotels and the guest experiences within them. Thank you so much for your time.